Greetings, light workers. This is Oya Transformation on December the 19th, 2020. It's Saturday. The streets are clear. We got a little snow and crunchies here and there. And I need to tell you a little bit about my day. First of all, yesterday I had a horrible meltdown. I have not felt like that, I don't think, ever before. But it kind of ties into the reading, and I'll tell you about it, how I worked through it, and how the reading cosigns the working through it all. So the cards have been shuffled and divined, and the messages are as follows. The first card that fell was the Helper of Action, little soldier boy or girl. And it says, there will be quick changes. You will need enthusiastic action. And recognize you have exciting relationships with loyal and helpful friends. There's so much to do. And it asks that you first find a plan, but it also recognizes that if this is you that they're speaking of, you won't have one. You're going to run through it by the seat of your pants, and it's going to be okay. You're going to have fun with it. Why? Because you're serving, and you are grateful to serve, and you are glad to serve. The second card in this reading is Passion and Pleasure. So passion and pleasure. And in this card, they're dancing around the fire with a tambourine. The moon is full. There's a little yurt in the corner, or if you will, a tiny house. The people are looking on, and the others are playing violins and just enjoying the moonlight. The sky is clear and full of stars. Well, that would be a wonderful day. And it says, it's simple. Focus on what's splendid and wonderful. And this is the second time, I think, within the week that this has come up. Now, the second card that supports this reading is no scorekeeping. It says, I cut ties with past conflicts and make my personal life clean and a shiny slate. Beginning this moment, everything is new. So, as I told you, I was going to go back. Well, this brings back a conversation that I had earlier today about whether or not faith and fear can occupy the same space. Many say it can't. I say it can, but there can be only one master. And typically I am real clear that faith masters my fear. But yesterday, I'm like 3 days out of major surgery. I have never had a major surgery in my life. It's in pandemic time. No one can come and see whether or not they finished with you and threw you in a barrel in the back, or whether there was medical malpractice. I mean, all the I don't know, all the whoa came out of the corner in the back and attacked me. And I love cars, and I've got 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, 6 of them. And if any two are down or acting up at the same time, it brings a little bit of angst. So we had that, and the recognition that you're going in the hospital where a lot of the bugs are. Come on, let's tell the truth. And you're going to be vulnerable. Didn't like the feeling, didn't like it at all. It drummed up a whole lot of fear. And I just said a prayer, I meditated, and I crawled in my bed for a couple of hours. And when I got out, I was real clear that's not a place I can live. And I could come up with a lot of supports why it was okay and why it was relevant that I felt the way that I felt. But meanwhile, I didn't like how I felt. And this card speaks to this no scorekeeping, speaks to campaigning for your limitations. It speaks to justifying um, the possibility of all those things you don't want to see. Because we can go back in our memory and talk about all the times when horrible things happen to people. And why should you be devoid of that? Why? Because you said you don't want none of it. We are co creating this world. And if you don't want it, stop trying to figure out how it could be yours too, because somebody else had it. That was their journey. It's got absolutely nothing to do with yours. And if you call yourself a co creator, then you better be putting together the building with the best material possible. Don't grab some mud sticks and you live in a rainy area. So some mud, you live in a rainy area. Build your foundation with things that are real and true, like gratitude, like an inner knowing, like the experiences you have had before that all support that things are working out for we. So why are you taking on anything else? I don't know who I'm talking to, but I guarantee you somebody can hear me because we're human. And I don't care how easy it is or not easy it is, but I'm talking about for those who usually soar somewhere around the stratosphere when things could look gloomy, that love to pick the roses and smell the roses and find a higher place to be. We drop sometime, y'all. And when we drop, we need to be in company of those who would say, baby, don't go down there. Come back. And if you stay up most of the time, it doesn't take much more than a nudge or, come here. And you take your hand off the stove. You don't stay there long. So you got a little singe, but you didn't get burnt. Okay? So this card, when they talked about the leading card, which was the helper of action, talked about being one who is loyal and helpful, who is ever ready with a wink and a smile. If that's not you, I know you know somebody. Who knows somebody? And if you ask, they're coming your way. Gonna act silly, gonna make light. Those are your choices. You can act silly, you can make light, you know what the possibilities are. Now, why are you gonna go deep into the whoa? If it's not your habit, don't start it. If it happened to you, you drop, pick yourself up, and march on. Wink and smile at yourself, because things are working out. Hasn't your life been an example of what can happen and will happen positively? If you keep looking for it, if you keep putting one foot in front of the other, joy has got to come your way if you're looking for it. So, with that said, focus on all the good, all the beneficence that has been your lot. Don't look at somebody else's story of woe and claim it, because you don't want it. And the final card in this reading is all about harmony. And harmony wants us to recognize that duality is always a possibility. And if I stay too long there, I end up with a headache, I'm unfocused, and I don't like how I feel. So, we got fear because we're human. We have faith because we are divine. I choose to allow the faith to be master over my fear. And I hope you would join me so that we can in turn support each other with just a little lift whenever it's needed. Harmony says you are able to feel a loving, balanced connection with everything. And I'm going to say in everybody. So, with that said, happy Saturday. If you had dropped, pick yourself up. If you haven't dropped, and whenever you see or hear this message, recognize you are only a thought away from a great day. So, shifting is our birthright. Co creation is our purpose. Loving is what we're here for. So, don't take your job lightly, or take it lightly, whichever works for you. But try to find some joy in every day. And when you shift and you can't come out of it, tell somebody. Now, don't tell the ones that got a story of woe every time you talk to them. You know who they are. Tell somebody who can hold your hand, who can hug you, even if it's virtually, and remind you that things are working out. As always, I say be love, be light, and be well. Thank you for showing up. Namaste. Continue to be well.